What up, you guys? It's your boy King, and today I'm gonna be talking about my first console. You'll never believe what was my first console, but let's get started. My first console was PlayStation 1. Yes, I went from PlayStation to Xbox, but my first console was PlayStation 1. At the time, before we got the PlayStation 1, we didn't have a single console. Not even those Game Boys and all those other devices. But I actually did have a Pac-Man. I don't know if you want to consider it a Pac-Man console, but it's a Pac-Man arcade one. The ones that you plug into the TV, the video and audio, and it was just a joystick. I had one of those, but we hardly even used it. But when before we even got our first console, we got into PlayStation 2 because my cousins had PlayStation 2 and we constantly kept playing at their house when we were being babysitted by their mom or our aunt. So we kept playing PlayStation 2 on NBA or Madden. I don't recall which one, or was it Need for Speed probably. But we kept playing their console, and then eventually me and my brother eventually tried to convince our parents to get us a PlayStation 2, and they said yes, but it took some time. And then when that day came, our parents didn't want to get us a PlayStation 2 because it was too expensive. They tried to convince us to get PlayStation 1, PS1, which we didn't want to get because we wanted to get the PS2 because our cousin had it, and we wanted to get the PS2, not the PS1. But our parents didn't want to get the PS2 because it's too expensive, and the PS1 was a little cheaper. So then we tried to convince them to get us a Game Boy, which they said no because it's a little more expensive, and the PS1 is a little cheaper than the fucking Game Boy. So at the end of the day, we ended up fucking getting the PS1, which we ended up being mad. We didn't have no single game except this one game, which I don't recall which game it was, but I didn't like that game. It fucking sucked. But later on, my cousin ended up donating us a couple of games because he had a PS1, but then he ended up transferring them over to PS2, so he ended up giving us a bunch of games. But then later on in the future, a year or two, I'm not sure. I don't believe it was a year or two, maybe a little less. So my dad had to do this job. I'm gonna get too into this job. But he had to do this job where he did a favor for a friend, and he ended up getting paid a good amount of money, which he ended up using that money to buy us a PS2, which me and my brother were finally excited. So the next day we ended up going to Costco, got the PS2, and then we got home and started playing Need for Speed. I believe it's Most Wanted. I'm not sure. But we ended up playing PS2, which was fucking awesome. But then later on, my brother broke it. So we ended up buying my cousin's PS2, which was a brick one. And the previous one that we broke was a skinny one. I believe it was like the elite one or the slim, whatever it's called. It was a small one. We ended up buying the brick one later on for my cousin, which later on we ended up breaking it as well. No, we didn't end up breaking it. We ended up buying another. I believe we ended up breaking it as well. And then we ended up buying another PS2, the slim. And then from there we end up selling it to our cousin, and that's how we end up. And then later on we end up buying a Xbox 360, and then we end up breaking that one. We end up buying another Xbox 360. But let's back it up right there. The first 360 we didn't break it. The disc tray ended up breaking itself. I don't know how, but I guess when you keep it for a long, they end up lasting 2 to 3 years, I believe, and the disc tray ends up breaking or malfunctioning. So we end up getting a new Xbox 360, and then from there on we end up getting the Gears of War 3 Slim 360, and then from there we end up getting another 360 because I wanted to play. Yeah, because me and my brother kept playing MW2, but we had to take shifts. We had them to do shifts. So whoever gets home first from school, so we get out of school at 2:45. Whoever gets home from school, whoever gets home from school first and turns on that console and turns on the TV, they get to play first. Now, we only get to play. The person that turns on that console and TV, they only get 3 or 4 hours. Then the next person takes their shift and starts playing their time. So we ended up doing that for a couple of months. It wasn't working out because he wanted to play a little longer. I as well wanted to play a little longer. So we ended up buying another console. So now that we can play separately, he can play his own time, I can play my own time. We end up getting my own TV. He ends up getting his own TV. So now we end up getting separate stuff. And now we have separate monitors, separate consoles, separate desks, separate chairs. It's literally our own gaming chair. Our own gaming setup with the one single room, which is weird. So now we have 2 Xbox Ones, 3 360s, a PS3, 4 monitors, 2 PCs. One PC is my brother's, other PC is the family's, but the family we hardly even use it. It's not connected to none of my monitors or his. I'm using my brother's monitor to be able to use my. I'm using my brother's PC to go on the internet and other stuff. So it's connected to my monitor and connected to his monitor. And then we have one TV, which I had for my first job. But yeah, that's how I got my first console. It's a long process with consoles. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and drop a like and comment. Until next time, you guys. See ya. Posture.